It's time for this week's book review to help us chase greatness. That's what we're about here on the podcast. We do a book review every week. A couple of years ago, I had an opportunity to speak at an event with Greg McEwen and McCown. Greg, he wrote a great book called Essentialism. I read this book with a group of my buddies maybe 18 months ago, and this book was so helpful. I love Greg's subtitle. It was fascinating to talk to him, but he was really a guy who's about focus. And the subtitle is The Disciplined Pursuit of Less. Let me read you just a couple things here I think will help you as you think about being more focused in your life. He says, what if we stop celebrating being busy as a measurement of importance? We say all the time, we're around leaders that confuse activity with accomplishment. That's sort of what Greg's saying here. What if we stopped celebrating being busy as a measurement of importance? What if instead we celebrated how much time we had spent listening, pondering, meditating, and enjoying time with the most important people in our lives? It's crazy how if we're not careful, we'll be so busy we don't have time for the most important people. We don't have opportunity to listen. We might be with them, but not really be with them. We're not really present. And so I think this book has helped me think a little more about the importance of focus in my life with the people that I care about the most. He says something else here, several pages, chapters over. He says essentialists see trade-offs as an inherent part of life, not as an inherently negative part of life. So many times we feel like, well, if we do that, we're going to have to give up this. And that actually is a good thing, Greg would say. He said, instead of asking, what do I have to give up? The essentialists ask, what do I want to go big on? What do I want to double down on? If you're going to double down on something, if you're going to give more time to something, you're going to have to give something up. And I want to encourage you to read this book and to ask yourself some of these questions, like what is it right now in your life that is actually, you've got so much stuff going on that it's holding you back from something that you really could go big on right now. You could double down on it. It's really amazing if we do that. He says the cumulative impact of this small change in our thinking can be profound. I think that's so true. And then one more thing here, just one last thing that I hope will whet your appetite for this book. He talks about clarity a lot, and he says clarity about what is essential fuels us with the strength to say no to the non-essentials. Clarity about what is essential, it really does fuel us to say no to the non-essentials. What have you been saying yes to that's not essential in your life? If you're not real clear on what is essential, you're going to have a hard time saying no to the things that are getting in the way of what's essential. So I hope you'll pick up a copy of Essentialism, Greg McCown's book, The Disciplined Pursuit of Less. If you'll do less, you actually might accomplish more. It's a great book. I hope you'll read it.